Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Real Time, where we talk about the movies we like.
And the ones we don't.
I'm Tyler,
And I'm Molly.
and this time we're going to be talking about 3 different movies, but in a sense, they're all the same movie.
Yes, yes.
Since this year has been the 90th anniversary of King Kong, we're going to be talking about 3 different versions of it.
Yeah, the original, the remake, and then the remake again.
We're going to be talking about the original 1933 classic, the 1976 remake, and the 2005 remake. So, King Kong, what do you know about this story?
Well, I just finished watching 3 movies on it. So, pretty good. My knowledge is pretty good.
Well, what do you know about it?
He's a big gorilla.
Anyways, you're useless right now.
I know. I'm sorry. Don't know what you want me to say.
Well, I want you to say things into the mic.
No, never.
Anyways, originally the director of this movie, Marion C. Cooper, just wanted to see a movie where a gorilla fights a Komodo dragon, but that didn't go through, obviously.
Yeah, seems like a very uninteresting plot for a movie.
Seems like a case of animal abuse, but given that it was the 30s, no one cared about that sort of thing.
Yeah, that happened a lot, unfortunately.
So anyways, the original King Kong was possibly one of the most influential movies of all time. It's inspired countless directors, from the likes of Ray Harryhausen to Eiji Tsuburaya, Tomoyuki Tanaka, Ishiro Honda. Those 3 would later go on to create the original Godzilla. And modern directors such as Peter Jackson and Steven Spielberg.
Yeah, I mean, it was a huge milestone for cinema, so yeah, it had a huge lasting effect on a lot of people.
It was one of, if not the first movie to star special effects as the main draw of the movie.
Yeah, and even though this movie is really old, like, those effects are still really cool today.
For basically all of these effects, they had to literally invent all these sorts of new techniques in order to actually make the movie. Okay, they employed special effects such as stop motion animation, matte painting, rear projections, and miniatures, all to bring this monster and this world to life.
Yeah, I mean, that stuff is still used today, so really groundbreaking stuff that definitely changed the way movies were made.
Like we said, the director was Marion C. Cooper, and this movie starred Fay Wray as Ann Darrow, the bright young star who's tricked into going to this island and being in this movie because it's a depression and she's poor.
She needs work. Mm-hmm.
Robert Armstrong plays Carl Denham, the human lead of this movie.
Yeah. The director, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Bruce Cabot plays Jack Driscoll, the first mate on the ship they're taking to the island. Frank Riker plays Captain Englehorn, the captain.
Yeah. He is the captain, yes.
I love how on IMDb it literally lists King Kong as one of the actors.
That is pretty funny.
It's accurate though.
Yeah, he did a good job playing himself.
Yes, he did. Those are the main players, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
So, King Kong. What are your thoughts on the original?
Well, like I said earlier, this is a groundbreaking movie, which still holds up pretty well today. I mean, of course, the effects aren't quite as good as, other things we have now. But for being the first movie to do this, it's really impressive. And It's just a really impressive movie, and I think everybody should watch this at least once.
Yeah, even when you do find discrepancies in the actual effects, you gotta cut them some slack because again, this is literally the first time they're actually doing this sort of thing, so they're not gonna have everything down pat. It's like criticizing the animation of the original Toy Story. Yeah, you could do it. It's not as polished as what we have today, but first time, cut them some slack.
Yeah. I remember whenever I was in college, I had to take a movie class, and this movie was talked about a lot during the class, and in the textbook. But yeah, you can obviously see that this is really impressive for the first time they've done this type of stuff. Having like the animation on screen the same time as real people is it was really cool.
Yeah, for instance, sometimes what they would do is they would be animating Kong or someone in stop motion while projecting frame by frame the actor in the foreground or in the background. Or sometimes when during the famous T-Rex fight scene, the Fay Ray would be on a bit of a tree branch for set in the foreground, while the actual fight, which they already stop motion animated, would be projected behind her.
Yeah, that's really. It seems really complicated. All this stuff they had to do.
And then, for other scenes, they just had a full-on animatronic Kong for like when they needed someone to get stepped on or chewed up or something. So they're working with a lot of complex mechanical parts and moving things, and they managed to pull this off pretty much perfectly.
Yeah, it is really impressive all the different ways they had to, or all the different like things they had to do for King Kong. It's really cool.
Now, a funny thing to consider is the actual copyright issues when it comes to King Kong. It's all sorts of a mess, but I will do my best to explain it the best I can. See, because so lately in the MonsterVerse, Warner Brothers has been using Kong in those movies, but also Universal owns a bit of it, but also some of it's in the public domain. But also, back in the day, RKO would license the use of Kong out to Toho for some of the Godzilla movies. And then there's the whole nonsense with the remake and its sequel with who owns that, which, you know what? Especially just, I'm not going to get into this. It's all too complicated. I don't want to get into this. It's really weird. And it's just all over the place.
Yeah, it sounds like it's very complicated. And yeah, I don't really understand it. But yeah, okay.
So, when this movie came out, we didn't exactly know a whole lot about gorillas, so they just had Kong as a basic giant monster, which works for the time, but it's accidentally correct because really you can't expect a gorilla to, or really any animal to exhibit human characteristics or emotions like Kong does in the more recent movies.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But it's also a movie, so you got to have some allowances. You got to have some suspension of disbelief.
Yeah. Yeah, and definitely in the newer movies, he does have a lot more complex emotions, it seems, that kind of make him more human-like.
So, some trivia about this. Hammer attempted a remake of this movie.
Interesting, alright.
There's a few deleted scenes that were cut out. For instance, in the 2005 remake, there was a scene where all the guys fell down a pit and ended up being attacked by a whole bunch of giant bugs.
We watched that, I guess. Or we watched the long version of the movie.
Yeah,
Okay.
but in the original, there was a scene similar to that.
Oh yeah.
It was cut after audiences thought it was really scary.
Yeah, I can see that. Big bugs are pretty scary.
The footage has since been lost, so we can't see it now. But Peter Jackson later used the old stop motion effects to recreate it himself, so that he and the crew can have so that they can have a better appreciation of what they went through to make this movie.
Mhm. Yeah. Interesting.
Okay, so who was your favorite character in this one?
Are we just doing original King Kong?
Well, for now, yeah, this is how this works. We're gonna go this one, then the 76th, and the 2005.
We kind of talked about all of them. So
No, I didn't.
Yes.
No, I only said
about the deleted scene from the.
Yeah, I
Okay.
I
Anyways.
mentioned the spider pit scene from the 2005 version so that you could have a frame of reference for when I talk about the one from the original.
I don't know if I have a favorite character in the first movie. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I really like Jack Driscoll. He's very sexist, and I like that.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was the one of the boat guys, wasn't he?
Yeah, he says that he doesn't like women being on ships,
Yeah. Mhm.
and says that women can't help being a bother.
Yep.
Just made that way, he guesses.
Yeah. Mhm.
And then later on, when he is confessing his feelings for Anne, she says, "Oh, but you hate women." And he just says, "Yeah."
Oh my. Yeah, that's a pretty funny part.
Like, no attempts to get around it. He's just like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sexist. I hate women. What of it?"
Yeah, he's not hiding that. He's perfectly fine with people knowing that. Which it was a different time.
You could be openly sexist then, and it was okay.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I also really like Carl Denham. I believe that this man could get people to go on a ship with him to go chase after at fortune and glory on a dangerous South Pacific island.
Yeah, he was very convincing. A real smooth talker, I guess.
Which, as we get into the other movies, you'll see that it gets more unbelievable how he's able to get these people on the ship. But we'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah. Mhm.
Now, what was your favorite part of the original?
I like all the parts where they're on the island and there's like stop motion going on while they're, still on screen. So like with the dinosaurs, I think. It's just really cool how they did that. So I really like seeing that in action.
Yeah, the effects were really good, as we previously mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a lot of fun to see that they were able to make something like this almost 100 years ago.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, 100 years ago.
Well, 100 years ago and 10 years.
Yeah. Well, it's basically, it's close enough.
All right, next we're going to get into the first remake of this movie. That first official remake, because depending on who you ask, King Kong Escapes by Toho could be considered their version of a Kong movie. But, for the sake of brevity, we're sticking to just these three. And I'll explain to you why in just a minute. So, the reason why we are only focusing on these three movies is for a few reasons. One, this took long enough to watch all three of these movies, so I don't want to complicate things any further. Okay, the extended version of the 2005 version is 3 hours and 20 minutes long. And like I said, that's the extended version. The theatrical cut is still over 3 hours, so you could see that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really long movie.
Also, I just didn't want to bring sequels into this at all because, well, Son of Kong and King Kong Lives, I feel like these two deserve their own video. I'm just keeping this to the strict, Kong and the direct remakes.
Yeah.
Also, King Kong Lives is kind of hard to find, so we're not going to worry about that.
I've never even heard of it, so yeah.
Also, we're not doing Kong Skull Island because we are saving that for our inevitable MonsterVerse video, which will be next year, hopefully.
Yeah. I guess so.
Why are you so sad?
I just feel like that'll take a long time to do.
It's just 4 movies.
Oh. Okay. We'll see.
We're not even getting into the that Monarch TV show, unless, maybe, I don't know. No, just the movies.
Okay.
So yeah, just keeping things as simple as possible. We'll do those sequels eventually. Maybe just Son of Kong though, because if it's gonna be a friggin' nightmare to find King Kong Lives, unless one of our subscribers out there finds a way for us to watch it. If you do, thanks, help us out, please.
Yeah. Like I said, I've never even heard of it, so I'm sure I will not be in any help to you.
Well, that one was a sequel to this movie, which we should probably get started on talking about.
Yeah. Go ahead and tell me the cast, please.
So, King Kong Lives. Not King Kong
No.
Lives. King Kong 76.
There you go.
There's a reason why we're not really doing much of a plot synopsis for these movies because...
They're all the same, basically.
a little bit. The 33 version and the 05 version are about Carl Denham trying to shoot his movie.
Yeah, this one's different.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm saying. 33 and 2005 version are about Carl Denham trying to shoot his movie on Skull Island, and he's basically trying to make money.
Yeah, that's basically it.
This version, it's not Carl Denham. It's a man named Fred Wilson who's trying to drill for oil on this island, and he finds a giant monkey.
An ape, but yes.
Look, monkey, ape, these things do not grow that big. Square cube law dictates that if Kong were that big and he fell over, he would blow up.
I don't believe in that.
So clearly, things are not the way they are.
Yes, but apes are different than monkeys.
You're a nerd.
At least I'm smart. Oh. Gotcha.
You're on thin ice, buddy. I'm going to fire you.
No, please. I get paid $0 to do this. Please, I need this job.
All right. But next time you're out, bucko.
All right, I'll be good.
Anyways, this movie was directed by John Gillerman and produced by Dino De Laurentiis, who was I say was, as if he's dead, but he might still be alive, who back in the 70s was he made a lot of monster movies and such. Yeah, he's dead.
Oh. I don't know why I laughed.
Why are you laughing? That's not cool, man.
Just the way you said it, I guess. You just caught me off guard.
He was 91 when he died.
Oh, pretty old. Lived a good life then.
And he produced or co-produced more than 500 movies.
That is a lot of movies.
So, you know what? Life well spent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Maybe a lot of what he made was schlock or crap. I don't know. I haven't seen all of his stuff, but he was a success nonetheless.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Anyways, this movie starred Jeff Bridges in one of his earlier roles as Jack Prescott, a primate paleontologist who stows away on this voyage so that he can go see Kong because he heard rumblings of a giant ape. Is that better?
Yes.
A giant ape being on this island.
And there sure was one.
There sure was. Charles Grodin plays Fred Wilson, the Carl Denham type in this movie, who's an oil executive wanting to go find oil for his company, and ends up bringing back a giant ape who he wants to use as a mascot for his oil company. When I say it out loud, this is really stupid.
Yeah, I will say. I should probably save this for the end, but I will say that this one, the plot was just a little bit
silly.
Yeah, it just wasn't quite as believable, I guess, as the other one, even though this involves a big giant ape. But you know what I mean? It's just like, it's just a little weird. A little weird.
Yeah, it's just. Anyways, and Jessica Lange, in her feature film debut, nonetheless, plays Dwan. That's not a real name. The Andero type in this movie, who is found by Jack after she had been shipwrecked, sort of, and left afloat in a raft.
Yeah, that was weird too. She just comes floating up on their boat. And then the crew allows her to go on the island with them on the expedition, which I thought was really dumb because she's a shipwrecked girl who probably should, be taking it easy. But yet they're like, okay, you can come on this dangerous journey with us.
Well, maybe, between the time they found her and then she had already been taking it easy. So they were like, okay, fine, whatever.
Yeah. No. I would not have let her go with me if I was in charge of that expedition because, she's not part of that crew. But, oh well, that's not what the movie did, so.
Yeah, feminism or something, I don't know. Also in this movie was Rick Baker, who actually played King Kong in a big old monkey suit.
Ape suit.
Look. Monkey is a funnier word.
Okay, fine.
So, yeah, that's basically it. They go to the island, want to find oil, find a big ape.
Yep. They take the ape back to put on a show. Things go awry.
Which, originally, they actually built a 40-foot tall gorilla animatronic for use in this movie. But then they realized that it looks about as real as a 40-foot tall gorilla animatronic would look.
Yeah.
So what they did was they used like the hands and stuff for when Dwan needs to be held. I hate that name so much.
Yeah, Dwan. Sounds weird.
Like she says she gave it to herself when she switched around the A and the W and the name Dawn to give her a more unique name, which I don't care. Your name's stupid, Dwan.
I guess it is unique, but I don't like it.
It's uniquely stupid. Yeah, they used that for when they needed that because, it's obvious it's just going to be an animatronic ape hands picking her up, so it's fine. And when they actually showed Kong off at the oil thing,
whatever it is.
When they were showing Kong off, they used the animatronic for the far away shots, which it's not great looking.
Yeah, you can definitely tell because it's very stiff. The shoulders are like really straight. It's just, it's not very realistic.
But also, Kong's vocal sounds were recorded by an uncredited Peter Cullen.
Peter Cohen?
Cullen.
Cullen?
You may know him better as the voice of Eeyore in some Winnie the Pooh animation.
Yep.
And for normal people, you would all know him as the voice of Optimus Prime in a lot of Transformers projects.
Okay, are you saying I'm not normal because I know him as Eeyore but not as Optimus Prime?
No, I'm saying you're not normal.
That's what I said.
But not for not knowing that. I'm just saying you're not normal.
Whatever. Leave me alone.
I thought you wanted to be on the show.
Changed my mind.
All right, go bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
Anyways, Rick Baker unfortunately did not get a proper credit for his on-screen performance because producers were trying to push the animatronics as the stars, which lame.
Yeah, that seems a little weird.
Potential directors for this movie that were pursued were Sam Peckinpah, Roman Polanski, Steven Spielberg, and Michael Winner. I would have gone with that guy. His name's Winner.
He can't lose.
Let's see. What is this Michael Winner guy made?
Winners.
Okay, he made the some of the Death Wish movies, so there's that.
I have not heard of those ever.
Charles Bronson kills a whole bunch of criminals, basically.
Okay.
Let's see. So we probably already mentioned how we feel about this one, but like, how do you feel about this one in general?
It's my least favorite out of the three.
Yeah, me too.
The premise is a little bit weirder. It just doesn't work as well. I honestly didn't think the characters were as likable either.
Well,
Yeah.
I like Jack. Okay, he was all right.
Yeah, he was okay, but it's like, I think the main girl has to be pretty likable.
Interesting.
Yeah, interesting. I guess I don't know. She just wasn't really working for me.
Well, the only reason why I stuck around was because I thought she was hot.
Of course you did.
But it's not like she's unlikable. You know, she's not.
Yeah, she's not unlikable. It's just, I don't know. She just wasn't working for me.
Kind of bland.
Yeah, I guess so.
Which, you know, Jessica Lange ain't doing a bad job here. She's doing fine with the work with the material she's given, but her character is just not interesting.
Yeah, I definitely don't think it's her fault. It's just the character.
And bless you, Jeff Bridges. You are doing fantastic, sweetheart.
Yeah.
But, you know, what else is new? Jeff Bridges is great in the movie. What a surprise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Although in this movie, he looks like an ape.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's got a big beard. Also, I thought it was funny in this movie. Well, I guess I shouldn't say funny, but King Kong climbs up the Twin Towers instead of the Empire State Building.
Yeah, the ending of this movie, it got me thinking about Norm Macdonald real hard.
Yeah.
Remind me of that tragedy.
I mean, they definitely couldn't tell the future and know what was going to happen.
Especially when they had a helicopter crash into one of the buildings.
Oh, no. But yeah, that was a big difference.
Yeah, we can't really blame the filmmakers for not seeing 25 years into the future and seeing that 9/11 was going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, but still with hindsight, it's like that's a bit that's a bit iffy.
Yeah. So that, yeah, it was just kind of funny in a weird way, if you know what I mean.
Anyways, at the end of this movie, Kong doesn't actually die. If you're able to actually watch King Kong Lives, he's put in a coma for like 10 years, and a whole convoluted series of things happen, and we'll get to that probably never, but you know, if we do, we do.
Yeah, that sounds weird.
Yeah.
Because I think in the movie, this was the one where we could hear his heartbeat.
Yeah.
And it stops beating.
It stopped beating.
Which means he's dead.
Usually.
So we're led to believe he is dead because his heart is not beating. So
I guess they just retconned that in the next one.
Yeah, I guess so.
Anyways, I don't need to ask you who your favorite character was. It was Jack, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Also, another thing, Kong was kind of creepy in this one.
Yeah, he was very he was a little sexual, if I recall.
Which, I mean, I get it, but still, you're a big monkey, man. It's just calm down.
Yeah, you're huge, and the only girl you like is
little,
very, very small, like the size of your pinky. So.
And at one point, Dwan gets all muddy and dirty and stuff, so Kong holds her underneath some waterfalls, and when her boobas are flopping out, he's just has his eyes pop on out of his socket like,
Yeah, that was weird.
Which again, I get it, my man, but you can't do that.
Yeah, there's some awkward scenes with King Kong and Dwan. Yeah, very awkward.
Yeah, and at times like this, Kong is just looking like that guy at the community college you go to. You know what I mean? The guy who seems nice enough, but he always smells funny. And if he does smell anything other than BO, it's always Axe body spray, and he's always asking, "Where's my hug?" to all the women he sees. It's creepy.
Yeah. Interesting description. But yeah, he's just. Yeah, you're supposed to like King Kong, but in this one, he is a little bit weird. He's a little bit creepy.
Yeah. Although, the actual effects they used on him were pretty good.
Yeah, I will say that. Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna skip to the next one now. We spent probably longer than we should have on this really mid remake.
Yeah, I don't think I'll probably ever watch it again, really. It was just like, eh.
Like, this isn't as bad as, your Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factories or your Karate Kid or, remakes like that, but it's no True Grit or The Thing.
Yeah, yeah. I don't really know. I didn't really like it, but
It's fine, but if you're going to watch a Kong movie, watch literally these other two.
yeah, either one.
So, we're going to be talking about Peter Jackson's remake in now.
Okay.
Now. Yeah, that was fast.
Now, we are going to talk about it in now.
I already did that. You don't need to do it again.
I was mocking you.
Well, that's not very nice.
Yeah, that's the point. I'm making fun of you.
You hurt my feelings.
Sorry. I'm so sorry. I will make it up to you.
All right. Give me a kiss.
Okay.
Okay, we're fine now. So, King Kong, 2005, was directed by Peter Jackson. Now, the original Kong was Peter Jackson's favorite movie of all time. I say was like he's dead. What's wrong with me?
You're just a little silly.
I assume it still is his favorite movie of all time.
Well, his opinion could have changed. Maybe he really, really liked some newer movie.
I don't know. Anyways, so Peter Jackson, man, he's 62. He was born on Halloween.
Oh, that's fun.
He's from New Zealand, though, so they don't really care about Halloween there. Or maybe they do. Maybe they do.
I've never been to New Zealand. I don't know.
I got a friend from New Zealand. Maybe I should ask her.
You should. Do New Zealanders celebrate Halloween?
Anyway, so this movie was directed by Peter Jackson and written by himself and his wife, Fran Walsh, and Philippa Boyens, the same team who wrote the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Yeah, that's kind of cool that he kept his team together.
Well, when one of them is his wife, I would hope you would maybe want to work with her still.
Yeah, I would hope so.
Which, this movie came out just 2 years after Return of the King came out, so they had to do like a quick turnaround when it came to this. But luckily, Jackson kept pretty much the same team from the Lord of the Rings crew, like VFX, production, all that. So, hit the ground running with actually making this thing. So that's cool.
Yeah, that probably helped out a lot. Just hiring everybody again, cuts down on time.
Now, this version of Kong stars Naomi Watts as Ann Darrow, a struggling actress who is suckered into going to Skull Island by Carl Denham, played by Jack Black.
Yeah, I always love seeing Jack Black and stuff.
One thing I just have to put out, why does anyone trust Denham in this movie? He is clearly untrustworthy.
Yeah, he's kind of a jerk, very untrustworthy, and he makes that pretty obvious, so...
He's got crazy Jack Black eyes.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
Adrian Brody plays Jack Driscoll, who this time around is a playwright that Anne really admires, but she doesn't recognize somehow.
Well, back in the day, I guess people weren't, putting pictures of playwrights all over the place.
Well, but no, she's like his biggest fan, and she was saying to the sound guy Mike that he doesn't look anything like his picture.
Yeah, they did have pictures. She's just a little silly.
Maybe she's just dumb.
Yeah, a little nervous, maybe.
You know what? This Anne is still a much better character than Dwan is. So okay, fine, whatever.
Yeah.
Thomas Kretschmann plays Captain Englehorn this time, who's a lot cooler than he was in the original.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Like, this man has guns on top of guns and chloroform for capturing animals and a giant harpoon gun, and he's just cool.
Yeah, he's really tough. A tough cookie, if I do say so myself.
Thomas Kretschmann, of course, is always playing German characters. I wonder why.
Is he German?
He's very German.
That would make sense.
Colin Hanks plays Preston, Carl's assistant, and Colin Hanks is, of course, the son of legendary Hollywood actor Tom Hanks. And this is a case of Nepo babies actually being worth a damn.
Yeah, he did a perfectly fine job.
You know, he's been in a whole bunch of things, and he has talent. I like his work.
Yeah. Well, sometimes talent does run in your genes, I guess.
Andy Serkis plays Kong this time around, and the ship cook Lumpy, who's channeling his Popeye because he has one eye closed all the time, and he looks like a sailor, and he looks like he should be eating some spinach.
His face is lumpy, like his name.
Anyways, Jamie Bell, in one of his earlier roles, plays Jimmy, the
cabin boy type, I guess.
I don't know what a cabin boy is, but sure.
You don't know what a cabin boy is?
Look, I'm not. I don't know.
Don't you watch like any pirate movie?
Yeah, but they don't say what a cabin boy does.
He just is a boy on the ship. A young boy who, does work.
You don't know either, do you?
I guess not.
You absolute buffoon.
I'm sorry.
And he's been mentored this whole time while he's been on the ship by Hayes, the first mate on ship, played by Evan Park. And I kind of feel like an idiot because back in 2005 when I was 10, I thought this guy was played by Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh, Tyler.
Look, I was 10. I was silly. It's just my bad.
Yeah, you're very silly.
To some degree, I still am, but, that's neither here nor there. And lastly, Kyle Chandler shows up as Bruce Baxter, the lead in Carl's movie, which is funny when you realize that Kyle Chandler would later go on to be in the MonsterVerse in Godzilla King of the Monsters and Godzilla vs. Kong.
Yeah, that is kind of funny.
So he's had experience with both Kongs and Godzilla. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is kind of cool.
So, what did you think of this remake?
Well, it certainly was long.
Yeah, we watched the extended version, which was over 3 hours. It was almost 3.5 hours, though. Like 10 minutes of that were credits.
Yeah, it was a long movie, but because it was long, it had a lot of opportunities to dig deeper into the story, to build the relationship between King Kong and Anne a lot more. The crew got into a lot more mishaps and adventures.
It allows us to get to know the crew a lot better too.
Yeah, a lot more character building. So there are pros and cons for a long movie.
Because in the original, we got to know maybe 2 members of the crew, Jack and this Asian stereotype. And the captain, of course, but...
Yeah.
And in the 76 version, I don't remember any of the crew.
I couldn't tell you.
This version, we have quite a few number of colorful characters.
Yeah, they all stand out. Yeah, we get a lot of time spent with them, so...
Now, on the downside, we spend way too much time on this friggin' boat.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that I think could have been cut out. But, I'm not the director.
No.
But
I feel 2 ways about it. Like, I get that some people will feel a bit tired by the time this movie ends, but like, if it's time well spent, then I don't mind.
Yeah, you know me, I'm not a fan of long movies. I get tired. I need to stand up and do something if I'm sitting too long. But we did split this up.
Yeah, we did split this up into a few days.
Yeah.
Because it was already late when we started watching this on Sunday, and then we were going to finish it yesterday, but I went to go see Killers of the Flower Moon.
Mm-hmm.
So we finished it today.
Yeah, splitting it up is not that bad. But I mean, yeah, I get that because it was long, we do get a lot more from it, which is a good thing. But the con is that, it's long.
Yeah, and I feel like the original, which was a hair over an hour, was paced a lot better.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, we didn't get as much time with all the different side characters, but we got in, we got out pretty fast, and there was no time wasted.
Yeah, there's no time wasted. There's no spots where it drags. Yeah, very straightforward.
Yeah, but some people may think that this long length is a problem. I didn't mind it, so it's just to each your own, really.
Yeah, yeah. It's not. Yeah, it's not like it was bad. No.
So Andy Serkis, of course, worked with Peter Jackson on the Lord of the Rings movies as Gollum. So excuse me. By this point, he's basically the king of motion capture.
For real, because I don't know if I'm thinking of all the motion capture roles I think of, they're always him.
Yeah, Gollum, Kong, Snoke in the Star Wars sequels, Caesar in the Planet of the Apes movies, Captain Haddock in that Tintin movie that Steven Spielberg made.
Yeah.
It's whenever he does live action roles like in The Prestige or Black Panther or The Batman, where it's a bit jarring.
Yeah, it's like, what are you doing, Andy Serkis? You're supposed to be a creature of some sort.
But no, he's great in these motion capture roles. He's great in live action. He's one of my favorite actors.
Yeah, I always did like Andy Serkis.
But for some of his prep while making this movie, he studied wild gorillas in Rwanda.
That sounds really fun. Like, cool. Interesting.
All three.
All three.
Let's see. Thomas Kretschmann played Englehorn in the English version and dubbed his own voice in the German dub.
Oh, interesting. Nice.
Let's see. What other trivia is there? So Fay Wray was asked to deliver the last line of the film. You know, it was Beauty that killed the beast. Mm-hmm. And she turned it down. But then she told Peter Jackson, never say never. So maybe she was changing her mind. But then she died.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
So they gave the line to Denham, like in the original.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Originally, Peter Jackson wanted George Clooney and Robert De Niro to play Jack Driscoll and Carl Denham, respectively.
Yeah.
That could have been interesting. Look, I mean, don't disrespect at all when I say this. I liked Adrian Brody. I did not like him in this movie.
Yeah, I like Adrian Brody too, but I feel like I don't know, maybe he wasn't quite invested in his role or something.
He wasn't believable for me.
Yeah.
Which
I see what you mean.
If other people like his performance, you know, more power to you. It just wasn't for me.
Yeah. I mean, he was okay.
And Jack Black, I feel two ways about him. Like, I like him in this movie, but I feel like nobody in this movie should believe a word he says. But they do for some reason.
Yeah. Yeah, I had no problems with Jack Black.
Now, these original choices could have been interesting.
Yeah, it could be very, very interesting.
Natalie Portman screen tested for Anne, but she was deemed too young for the role.
Oh.
So the ice skating scene with Kong and Anne that took up a few minutes of screen time.
Yeah.
That wasn't in the original script. They just added that last minute just cause.
Oh, they're like, hey, it'd be cute if he goes ice skating on this pond with her. That'd be funny.
It was kind of fun.
Yeah, it was nice.
But come on, we are over 3 hours in. Let's move along, people.
Yeah, it is nice that they do build this relationship between Anne and King Kong, but yeah, it is a long movie, and by that point, I'm ready to be done with it.
So this movie also, to be frank, this flat out terrified me when I was a kid.
I believe it.
Not for any of Kong, though. If I saw that coming at me, I would be pooping my pants.
Yeah.
But for all like the bug stuff, like there's a scene where Anne crawled into this log to escape the photodon, the big iguana thing that was chasing after her. Mm-hmm. and these 2 centipedes come at her, and
Yeah, Tyler doesn't like centipedes.
it's probably because of that scene that I'm scared of centipedes now.
Probably.
That and probably Ko, the face stealer from Avatar.
I remember, I think my dad renting this movie whenever it came out. But of course, that was back in like 2005 or 6. So I was a kid and did not have the attention span for this movie. So I remember watching it a little bit, but not really sticking around for any of the like scary parts, I guess.
And then there's the actual spider pit scene that they did. You know, all the crickets and big old spiders. Okay, that's one thing. That's fine. That's something that you can tangibly see, and you know, it's like a thing that it'd be cool to fight, sorta, in a way.
Yeah.
It's like the masculine urge to fight a big old animal and then tell your boys about it at the bar.
Yeah, I can't relate.
I know. But those big old slugs in the mud, those worms, no, man.
I couldn't do the bugs either. Those crickets jumping on my back. No.
But it's like that's a tangible thing you could see yourself fighting.
Those worms are tangible.
Yeah, but when you saw them in the mud, they just look like rocks and stuff. So you could be just wading through some mud, and all of a sudden these things come out and start sucking your blood, and you're getting trapped in their maw. But with these crickets, you know, you could possibly see that coming, and you could, you know, prepare yourself. Be like, okay, gotta fight a big bug. I'm gonna step on it.
You could try to step on these big bugs. I wouldn't want to fight any of these bugs.
Well, yeah, I don't want to fight any of them, but like, if I had to choose, I'm choosing the crickets.
I would choose to run away.
Which Bruce Baxter did a lot, very realistically, I might add.
Yeah.
Like in the movie, Jack always was calling him a coward because he wanted to leave. But like, dude, y'all just almost got stampeded by a whole bunch of dinosaurs, and there's all sorts of weird and dangerous stuff on this island that is absolutely dangerous. I do not blame him whatsoever for leaving.
Yeah, I would leave too. I didn't sign up for this. I just thought I was going to be an actor in a movie, but now I'm fighting weird creatures.
And that was before they actually saw Kong.
Yeah.
So, yeah, don't blame him whatsoever. And then he even comes back to help them out of the spider pit.
So he wasn't... He was a good guy.
Yeah, you have the virgin Jack Driscoll and the Chad Bruce Baxter.
Yeah, he comes back to save them. He fights, even though that's not what he's hired to do. He does it anyways. Yeah.
And then he later headlines the Kong show at the end, and then once he sees that Kong is getting loose, he says, "You know what? I'm out. Bye, guys."
Yeah, he's like the first one to run away.
Smart man.
Yeah.
Which, let's talk about that scene for a second too, because in the scene we see like this whole crazy song and dance number about them sacrificing a blonde white woman to Kong, and we see the people playing the natives are white people in blackface makeup.
Yeah, you could tell. Yeah, especially when you pause it and you look, like, yeah, you can tell that's what's going on.
You can tell that they're wearing makeup, but it's not like in universe it's white people using blackface. It's not like people playing black people for the movie. They're doing it in universe. So,
yeah.
And it's a historically accurate thing.
Yeah, because this takes place in the 30s.
So, yeah, not great, but you know what? It's like Robert Downey Jr. in Tropic Thunder doing blackface. Just think of it like that. He's not actually playing a black person. He's doing it in universe.
Yeah.
But, I mean, what else is there to say about this movie?
Not a lot. Like I kept saying, I do like that we feel more connected to Kong. He feels more like a character. We see his relationship with Anne, and it's nice, and he protects her on the island, so the ending's more emotional.
Yeah, because we feel a more emotional connection to Kong than we did in the other two movies, and it's really really sad when he dies. I remember when I used to watch this with Kate, she would cry when we got to the end and Kong died.
Yeah, it is sad because he's just an innocent giant ape.
I mean, all these Kong movies have make me flashback to Harambe in 2016 again.
Don't even start.
Anyways, so who was your favorite character in this one? Besides, of course, the absolute Shad that is Bruce Baxter. Besides Bruce Baxter.
I got it, babe. My favorite character would probably be either Kong himself or Anne, because the movie, like what I just said, the movie goes so in depth with their relationship. It's more interesting to watch.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you. I feel like this is the best depiction of Anne we had, because we actually she actually has to work for her safety. You know, it's not like in the original where she just shows up and Kong's like, oh, pretty, or in the 76 version where he's just like, oh, pretty.
Yeah.
You know, she actually has to entertain him with her vaudeville act.
Yeah, she uses her experiences to entertain the beast.
And eventually she learns to accept him as her protector, which really endears her to him as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because at this point, Kong is the last of his kind on the entire island and in the entire world. He has no family. They were probably killed by these big T-Rexes that he had to fight, which, by the way, he had to fight 3 of them in this one as opposed to the original where he only fought 1, and the 76 version where he just fought a big snake.
Yeah, he had to go through a lot in this movie.
Which can be said about this island. This is a dangerous island. I do not want to be here at all.
Yeah, like every 5 minutes they were finding this new dangerous creature to fight, and they just couldn't catch a break.
Like for one, there's the natives, which, you know, when people call someone a savage, they're usually being a little bit racist at that, like in old movies and stuff, where it's just like they come across brown people and they're like, oh, savages. But like, no, these people are actually feral. They sacrifice people to Kong, which they do that in the other two, but like they're literally insane, and they even killed some of the other crew before they even sacrificed Anne to Kong.
Yeah, like I don't think in the other movies they killed anybody.
No, they just yoinked Anne and took her away, which that's not great either. But these islanders make those other people look like actually civilized people.
Yeah, they did a lot of killing.
And then we get into what's actually on the island, and at which point Kong is one of the more friendlier options, and he's still killing a lot of people.
Yeah. There's a whole bunch of stuff out there that could kill you.
You got all the bugs, you got the big lizards, you got the raptors, the T-Rexes, every 5 minutes you go, there's something waiting to kill you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Everywhere they went.
Of all the Skull Islands in these Kong movies, this is the one that I'd like to be on the least.
Yeah, it's very dangerous.
We should probably wrap this up. Do you have any final words?
Despite its length, I did enjoy watching it.
Yeah, me too. I don't think we need to really think about our rankings for these movies.
Mm-hmm.
But what would you say yours are? Best to worst.
It would be close. Best to worst, I would probably say the original, and then the 2005, and then the 71.
76.
76. I don't remember.
Yeah, that one's mine too.
Yeah.
The original is a classic. The 2005 is a a worthy remake, and the 76 one is kind of mid.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, that'll do it for us. We will catch you guys later.
See you next time.